Okay, today I wanted to go over a combination of different Chromafusion products that you can use cheat color products on your eyes for eyeshadow. And so I wanted to kind of give you a different look if you're wanting to try some different colors that aren't in the eyeshadow palette, but just to give the idea that they're all mineral and they're all the Chromafusion formulas, so they'll still last really, really long. So basically today I have done concealer and foundation. I've done foundation and primer, and of course I did at the very beginning, I prepped my skin with gray skincare, washed my face, and hydrated moisturizer, and used eye cream. So if you ever are trying to cover up some of those dark circles, either because it's genetics or because you might not have had enough sleep because you're a mom or anything like that, always put on eye cream first before you cover up your dark circles, because then it will look more natural, because underneath the skin is hydrated. We don't have any oil glands underneath. And this is why we have, we show our aging there the quickest and the first place. So make sure that you do eye cream first, and then you can do concealer, and then you make sure you color within the line of demarcation. So it's like when we learned to color with crayons, you color within the lines, and that's the same thing. If you color outside of that line, then you're creating two different colors of skin. The one that you're hiding the dark circles and your regular skin. And so then you're gonna notice the pigmentation different. But if you only do it in where you have dark circles, then it will look more even and hide them, like I've done today, because I did have some dark circles. So yay, makeup. Okay, so I have powdered concealer and powdered, but I want to remind, when you're doing concealer, you need to set your concealer underneath your eye, but you also, before you start using eyeshadow, you need to set your eyelid as well. So all of us have veins and things on our eyelids, so you always want to prep it and make the most even skin tone there, which will also make your eyeshadow stand out and look more dramatic if you want to. But really it's just evening out the skin tone so that you don't have to deal with the purples and blues of the veins and different things like that. So always use concealer on your eyelids, no matter what your skin type is or anything like that. And then if you're using primer, you do that before concealer, and then you put powder over it. Okay. So I am going to start by curling my lashes, and if you've watched any of my videos, you start at the base, you pinch down, you're gonna walk it out a little bit, pinch down again, you're gonna walk it out a little bit and pinch again, because you want a natural curl. You don't want just like a 90-degree angle that goes you want it to swoop, and you want it to look more natural. And so the way to do that is to get multiple curls. And if you have problems getting all of your lashes into the eyelash curler, you can use something called a precision eye curler. It looks like this. And you can get your very outer edges of your eyelashes, which I have really big eyes, and the eyelash curler doesn't get them. And honestly, most people, it's not going to curl those, because you'd end up pinching your middle lid if you're trying to get the edges, if that makes sense. So I always do one coat of mascara before I start anything, because I usually do multiple layers. So you're going to start at your base, and you basically are wiggling it from side to side to get the most definition and to get a little bit of thickness at your base first. And I use waterproof, because if you use waterproof right after you curl it, it will keep the curl longer throughout the day. So if you love a different formula and you want to use our Lash Intensity or our Ultimate or something that gives you extra volume, all you have to do is use the waterproof first to keep your lashes curled, and then use any other formula after that. But you have to give it the 2-minute drying time so you don't, it's less likely to clump and have issues that way. So you do one layer, you do some other things with your makeup, and then you can go back and do the other one. And I just noticed that I had a little bit, usually doesn't clump at all, but if you have a little bit of them like sticking together, then you can pull them apart by like pulling up like that. Okay, so then once I'm fresh faced, I decided not to do my brows so you could see how fabulous they are without any eye makeup, okay? Without any brow makeup, because brows make a world of difference. And I like to start it off by layering. The easiest thing to start with, I think, is our volumizing brow tint. It's really easy to use once you learn how to use it. And it's kind of like mascara for your brows. So it's going to give you a little bit, it has a little bit of fibers in there, but really it's going to darken, and you can give it more shape. So at the beginning, I always do the few strokes up, and then I start at the bottom part of my brow, kind of go diagonal. You always want to do short feathery strokes to make it look more like hair. But with this, once you learn how much, really the only problem that you have with this is putting too much product on the wand. If you have too much product and you put it on and it's the first time you've used it, then you can maybe scare yourself because it can put a lot of product on. So you just have to kind of wipe it off, the excess, the way that I do mascara. You just kind of brush it off and you go back through. So depending on how dark your hair is, you'll want to choose a color that's one shade lighter, same color, or you could go one shade darker, but you don't want to do more than that. But do you see how just doing the brow tint, woo, makes my eyes look like tired? Can you see that? Just with brow tint, okay? It makes a world of difference. And then you would come back through and you're going to use the pencil. So the next step I would recommend would be the pencil if you want a little bit more definition. So you're going to do the same thing. I start on the very edge to get that shape. You can round it a little bit more or have it a little bit more square depending on your preference. But then I come down and line the very bottom of my arch, so it has that definition. And you want to finish your color right here, diagonal from your nose to the corner of your eye. That's where your brow should end. Most people's brows do not finish where they're supposed to. So just add a little bit of color and you'd be surprised at how it just looks more complete. So can you see that a little bit more definition? And then you're going to come back through and you're going to use a matte shade of eyeshadow. Now this is the 3 steps. If you wanted to stop at the first, you totally can. If you want to stop at the second, you can. The second, I just bring a little bit of that matte powder and I blend it into my brows to try to make sure that if I had any pencil marks or missed any spots, that I've finished that. And you can even do one more step and do like a concealer line and blend that underneath. I only do that when I'm going out or have special occasion. So look at those. Look at that. Now I want to show you the difference with just shaping the eye. So I'm going to use my matte mid-tone brown, which is hazelnut. And you want to stay within that anti-aging line, right? Right here. You don't want to go outside of that line because it will make your eyes look droopy and tired. You don't want to go outside that line because it will make your eyes look droopy and tired. And you're going to go along that line, come into your crease on top of your brow bone. Especially if you have hooded eyes, you want to push that skin back. Most people are scared to bring it up as high as you really should. So, a lot of people are scared to go up as high as you should, especially with a hooded eye. You're wanting to push that skin back. You're wanting to give more depth to your eye, and you come all the way in. You see that? Look how much lifted my eye is, more awake. I haven't blended. I haven't like done any highlight. I haven't done anything except for a matte brown and did my brow. Like, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go back through just to show you before and after, right? But I need to finish my other brow or I will feel off. So, same thing, start at the very beginning, go upward strokes. And then I'm doing my arch and the top of my arch, adding in that color and dimension. All right, so then I'm gonna take my pencil, line the bottom, make sure you go out to the edge. And then I'm gonna take the powder, go back through. Okay, then I'm gonna take that matte mid-tone brown, I'm gonna shape, doing that diagonal anti-aging line, coming up on top of my brow bone. You go into your crease, but you also, the easiest way for me to teach is if you think about putting it in your crease, you'll end up going too low because the point of the brush, a little bit of it will blend into your crease and below it and on top of it. So if you think about right on the edge of that brow bone, then you're gonna get right underneath it and right on top of it. And that's where most people are going to need that. And if you have a hooded eye, then you go all the way up where the hooded part is. There you go. Just shaping my eye. Now I haven't contoured or anything, so I'm going to come back through because I can feel like it's missing. And I'm going to take our fabulous cheek brush. You can use this as a contour. Right on top of your cheekbone. You want to think about like right on the edge. So this is where it ends, but I'm right there on top of it. You don't want to go any higher than that, but you're going to bring that color and blend it about there. You don't want to go all the way into your nose. And this will give you definition for your cheeks. It will make you look thinner. And when you're doing pictures, it will give you more definition, and your face will look three-dimensional as opposed to looking kind of flat on the screen of pictures. Always, always contour if you're getting pictures taken, because you will the light will reflect and hit your face so much better when it has a little bit of that definition to go off of. You can go on your jawline if you want to hide like a double chin, if you want more definition. I have a defined, jawline. So I don't usually do too much there. Usually focus right on that cheek, on this side, and then do a little bit underneath. But if you have more of a round face, or if you have a square face and you want to chisel that square part off, then you're going to want to contour right there. And then if you're going to do the side of your nose, you usually end up pinching the brush just so I get a little bit more if I'm using this cheek brush. Okay. Do you see how just the light reflecting naturally, it just gives me more definition? Now, you can go too far, do too much, and your face can look dirty. So you have, practice makes perfect, or practice makes progress. I like that saying too. See how that still just looks really natural? I know that not everyone is going to contour every day, but I love the way that it looks. And so if you're just using a powder, it doesn't take that long. If you're contouring with a liquid foundation, then it's going to take a little bit longer, or like a cream. And a little bit of this pigment of the Chromafusion goes a long way. Now this is called apple popping. You take a brighter, my recommendation is peach corals, because it really pops and gives you a healthy glow. Like even though I'm wearing a pink, coral doesn't look bad because it's giving me that healthy glow. It doesn't have to match. I have so many customers that feel like they have to match. If they're wearing pink, they wear pink. If they're wearing purple, they want a purple cheek color. No, your cheeks will never, if you're ivory beige skin tone, your cheeks are never supposed to be purple unless they're bruised. Do you want to look bruised? No. So peaches, corals, you can do pinks. Like if you were to pinch your cheeks a shade or two lighter, darker, brighter than that color. You don't want to go something completely different colored hue. So do not have to match the cheek color with any eyeshadow, with any lipstick, with anything you wear. You can wear the same cheek color every single day, and I usually do because I love the juicy peach. I add sometimes a tap of the hot coral because I love the little bit of brightness that adds. You just don't need a ton. So anyway, love, love, love that color, and don't feel like you have to match your cheek color with anything, okay? Then I'm going to come through and I'm going to use, I love our cream eyeshadow. You can use this just as a highlighter every day. In the summertime, some people just want something quick that they can even use your fingers with. You can. I love to use our concealer brush and get it right where I want it, which is right on the lid and on the inner corner. And basically what this is going to do is just make any color that you choose pop right off this beach blonde. So even if you don't have a shimmer eyeshadow, if you use this beach blonde and then put a matte over it, you can make it basically a shimmer. So I love that we have more mattes for everyone as you age. Some people don't want too much shimmer. For highlight, if you're going to do a shimmer and you're more mature, use it on your highlight, not on your matte, your shaping mid-tone or on your accent, but just do it on the highlight. And if you don't want it as dramatic, then use a like fleshy colored peachy undertone highlight. But there's nothing wrong to use all matte. So, but if you want to use one of the matte colors, but you want a little bit of shimmer, then basically you can do that. Now, that's just with the beach blonde, if you can see that. And you could use this as an everyday look. So I'm going to come and I'm going to use now, because I use Juicy Peach, I want you to see what Juicy Peach would be as like an eyeshadow. Now this is over Beach Blonde. So Juicy Peach isn't naturally like a shimmer. Can you see that? Now that's Juicy Peach. It's a really light and it will look pink if you were to wear pink. But that's that color. And then I wanted to show you the Darling Pink. Now this is also a matte. And they're gonna look very similar on over the Beach Blonde. And I just put the color where the lid is, not where, not on the inner corner. I want that to stay that light beach blonde color. Can you see how similar that is? And it's coral and pink. In person, you can tell slightly that that's a little bit more peachy colored. And this is a little bit more pink. But if you want a little bit more pigmentation and you want to play with colors, I'm going to even do a look where you're using hot coral. I'm going to add a little bit of pink to this side and a little bit of peach to this side. Now, just so it matches. How cute. Okay, so I'm going to do like a pink chocolate and pink look. And I'm going to take our burnished bronze color, which I love, and do right on the edge. Remember that anti-aging line? You don't want to go outside that anti-aging line right there. And you're going to bring right on that brow bone. You bring that brown about 2/3, 3/4 of the way. Then I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm going to go down and in and up and in. So it looks more like a wedge shape, but you still have that anti-aging line where you're not going to swoop down. Some people say to do it as like a C, but when I've taught people to do makeup with a C, it always tends to look, it makes their eyes look droopy because they brought the C too far down, the swoop too far low. And so if you plan on it being kind of more like a V, at first, or like a 7, where you're doing that anti-aging line right here first, and then you kind of, it's not a straight line up here, but you're curving it into on top of your brow bone to start and into that crease. Can you see that? And then because of that sideways V or 7, then when you blend and go down and in and up and in, it's going to look more like a wedge shape where you have the darkest on your corner here and then it fades in. Make sense? And then if you want to even add a little bit more of the chocolate brown and a little bit more drama, I'm going to take a little bit of the hot fudge, a little bit of hot fudge right on that line and pull it in. Okay, now with a light, it looks like this is darker here, but there's a shadow. Okay, so I am going to take a clean brush and blend this inner part. Now, if you ever feel like what you did for your highlight or whatever is not popping as much as you want, you can go back on and add a little bit more of that color right on top. And then sometimes I'll take that crystalline and just do right on the inner edge, right there. And it gives you a little bit of that sparkle. Yeah. And then I'm going to take our smudger brush and use the hot fudge and just line. Usually I don't use pencil unless I'm doing a very strong smoky eye on my bottom lid. It's just really harsh. And most people can't handle that with their eye shape. Especially for like a day look. Now, some people think that you can just line your bottom. But I want to show you, look how much more it's like dragging my eye down, because you have that, even though I have this darker here, it's right here. And some people don't even use eyeshadow and they just line their bottom, and it doesn't look great. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It makes you look older and it makes you look more tired because it's dragging that color. The focus is on the bottom of your eyes instead of on the top. So you have to, if you line your bottom, you have to line your top. Now you don't have to line your bottom, but if you line it, you need to make sure that you line the top and the bottom, not just the bottom. So I'm going to go back through and line the top. Can you see the difference between that eye and this eye? I said not now. I'm almost done. The more you interrupt me. Okay, so then I'm gonna take a little bit of more of my mascara, and I'm going to do my top lid again to do a second coat. And if you need that longer lash look, then pull it lengthwise and the particles will attach to the tips of your lashes. And usually when I do multiple coats, I'm going to do one that's more horizontal like this and one that's more vertical like this. And then I'm going to do my bottom lashes. I'm going to do my bottom lashes. There you go. Add a little bit of lipstick. And if you want your lipstick to stay on longer, you use liner. If you've heard me talk before. But there you go, chocolate pink eye using some of the cheek colors. And if you have a highlighter that you can use as a highlighter, but you can also, like a cheek highlighter, like our Honey Glow or Glazed, if you want that as a highlighter for your face, you can also use this as a highlighter for your eyeshadow as well. So any of these colors, cheek colors, eyeshadows, they can all be mixed and mingled. And so you might not have thought that you had as many combinations. Even if you just get 3 eyeshadows and a cheek color, you'll have another fun color that you can play with when you add in that cheek color, and you can do a little bit of pink or peach or like a soft, where you don't even have an accent and you just do a little bit of light pink on the top of your lids if you want an easy color, look for, you know, spring or summer. So anyway, here's the Chromafusion. Hopefully you can see that. And hopefully you have, hopefully I'll stop playing with my hair. Once I finish, you always want to like tweak and change things. But anyway, so hopefully you like that. Make sure you subscribe. And if you have any questions or want some other looks, feel free to comment below. Bye.